أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فأعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. My dear viewers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. May the peace and blessings of Allah be upon you all. Welcome back to our program MTA Kids Time, which is being brought to you by MTA International Gambia Studios. And in this program, we have been discussing various topics in the Islamic teaching. By the grace of Allah the Almighty, today also, please, you can stay with us and have a very, very vital issue from the Holy Quran or topic that we want to explore today. So in our last episode, we have been discussing another important issue, that is, we have said about the relationship between parents and children, and also the essential things about dua, why dua is important, why it has been constantly and repeatedly mentioned in the Holy Quran. That shows how it is important. So in this episode also, without wasting much time, we will also want to start this program. Here we are going to deal with another important thing with regard to Hazrat Maryam alayha salam, who have been mentioned in the Holy Quran, who in fact have been given a full chapter named after her. So let's have the recitation from the Holy Quran by Sister Tahira Ifofana. Please give us the recitation.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم واذكر في الكتاب مريم إذ انتبذت من أهلها مكانا شرقيا فاتخذت من دونهم حجابا فأرسلنا إليها روحنا فتمثل لها بشرا سويا.
Okay, Jazakumullah, thank you very much. Can we have the translation by Brother Mashrur? Hydra, please give us the translation.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
And relate the story of Mary as mentioned in the book, when she withdrew from her people to a place to the east and screened herself off from them. Then we sent our angel to her, and he appeared to her in the form of a perfect man.
Thank you very much. We all had the translation. We said we are going to discuss about Hazrat Maryam radiallahu anha, who was none other than the mother of Hazrat Isa alayhi salatu wasalam, who happened to be a prophet after Hazrat Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, and a prophet before the Holy Prophet Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And Allah the Almighty revealed these verses of the Holy Quran to our beloved Master Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wasallam by saying that, "O Muhammad, can you remember or can you relate the story of Mary when she withdrew from her people to a place to the east?" And it has been mentioned in the book. Can you relate that story? What was the story? Very interesting story for that matter, and very confronting issue at her time and even the time we are in today, because a strange thing happened during her life. So let us see what happened to Hazrat Maryam radiallahu anha. Allah the Almighty in Surah Ali Imran chapter 3, Allah the Almighty is talking about Hazrat Maryam radiallahu anha, when he said, إذ قالت امرأة عمران ربي إني نذرت لك ما في بطني محررا فتقبل مني إنك أنت السميع العليم. He said, remember when the woman of Imran said, my Lord, I have vowed to thee what is in my womb to be dedicated to thy service. So do accept it of me, verily, thou alone art all hearing, all knowing. This is the mother of Hazrat Maryam radiallahu anha. She made a vow that when she have a male child, she is going to dedicate the child in the service of Allah the Almighty. But when that happened, then the Quran states, فَلَمَّا وَدَعَتْهَا قَالَ رَبِّ إِنِّي وَدَعْتُهَا أُنْثَى وَاللَّهُ أَعْلَمُ بِمَا وَدَعَتْ وَلَيْسَ الذَّكَرُ كَالْأُنْثَى وَإِنِّي سَمَّيْتُهَا مَرْيَمَ وَإِنِّي أُعِيذُهَا بِكَ وَذُرِّيَّتَهَا مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ. He said, but when she was delivered of it, she said, my Lord, I am delivered of a female. And Allah knew best what she had brought forth, and the female she was thinking of was not like the female she had brought forth. And I have named her Mary, and I commit her and her offspring to thy protection from Shaitan the rejected. This is when somebody has a child, this is the dua that you have to say. Inni a'udhuha wa inni u'iduha bika wa zurriyataha min ash-shaytani rajim. You understand? So when this happened, then perhaps the mother of Maryam was wanting to have a male child. But here, she delivered a female child. And she told Allah the Almighty, I have delivered, but it's a female child. But I know you knew better than I do that it is a female child that I deliver. Because even before I deliver her, you know what is in my womb. But now, I have left her under your protection. And may you protect her and her offspring from Shaitan the accused. Then, it is narrated again, whenever Mary was visited by Zachariah, then Zachariah said he find there lot of items. That's why the Holy Quran says, وَكَفَّلَهَا زَكَرِيَا كُلَّمَا دَخَلَ عَلَيْهَا زَكَرِيَا الْمِهْرَابَ وَجَدَ عِنْدَهَا رِزْقًا. Provision. The Zachariah was surprised. How is this lady getting this provision? He asked, where is this coming from? Then she said, huwa min indillah, inna Allah yarzuqu man yasha'u bighayri hisab. All this come from Allah the Almighty, and Allah provide for anyone whom He wishes to without any measure. That does not mean that some people might think that it was provision descending from heaven, coming to the house of Mary, that nobody realized. No. This means that Mary's entire life was dedicated to the service of religion. And from the onset, when Mary was delivered, this is what the mother says. So therefore, whatever Mary earned, it is by the help of Allah the Almighty. It is by the command of Allah the Almighty. That does not necessarily mean they will descend from the heaven inside her house without anybody noticed. But Allah make a preparation and a plan for her to provide for her with no measure through other means. So when that happened, then it continues. The angel, now when Mary grew in a palace. She was completely dedicated to the worship of Allah alone. And the angel came to her. They said, إِذْ قَالَتِ الْمَلَائِكَةُ يَا مَرْيَمُ إِنَّ اللَّهَ اسْتَفَاكِ وَطَهَّرَكِ وَاسْتَفَاكِ عَلَى نِسَاءِ الْعَالَمِينَ. O Mary, remember when the angel says, O Mary, Allah has chosen thee and purified thee and chosen thee above the women of all peoples. So here, some people might think that Mary is better than every woman from the beginning of the creation to the ending of the creation. No, this is not what the verse is portraying. What the verse is talking about here, it was a specific period of her time. The time she lived, no woman on the earth was better than Mary. And this is what the angels are conveying to Mary. That Mary, from here we understood, she was a chosen servant. She was a chosen servant of Allah, and she was purified by Allah Himself, and she was also somebody who was the best among all the women of her time. So therefore, whatever happened in the future, then anything that people say about her is going to be wrong, because Allah the Almighty has already declared He purified Mary, chosen her, and also chosen her above all women. Let us see what happened in the later part of her life. So it continues, said, the angel continued admonishing her, telling her now, O Mary, be obedient to your Lord, and prostrate thyself and worship God alone with those who worship. Since you are chosen among the best, and you are made the best among all women, and you are purified by Allah, you are chosen by Allah, your duty and your responsibility toward Allah now, it is to be obedient to whatever He has commanded you, because there's a very important commandment coming in the future. So they have to tell her, you are chosen, you are purified. Whatever happens in the future, you have to be obedient to the command of Allah, and you have to be dedicated to the worship of Allah alone, and you have to prostrate constantly to Allah the Almighty. When that happened, again they continue to say, is qalatil malaikatu ya Maryam inna Allah yubashiruka bi kalimatin minhu ismuhu Isa bun Maryam wajihan fi dunya wal akhirati wa minal muqarrabin. They say, when the angel said, O Mary, Allah gives you glad tidings of a word from him. His name shall be Messiah, Jesus, son of Mary, honored in this world and in the next, and of those who are granted nearness to God. Now they brought this news. You see, they have told her already that you have to be obedient whatever Allah the Almighty asks you to do. Now they brought another news that is a very important news, that Mary, Allah is going to grant you a child, and this child is not going to be an ordinary child. This child is going to be honored in this world, this child is going to be honored in the hereafter, and this child is going to be somebody who is going to be very near to the Almighty Allah. Wajihan fi dunya wa fil akhirati wa minal muqarrabin. Because why? Something strange is going to happen. Now when Mary received this information from the angel, she was surprised. How is this going to be possible? That's why she responded. She said, قالت ربي أن يكون لي ولد ولم يمسسني بشر قال كذلك الله يخلق ما يشاء إذا قضى أمرا فإنما يقول له كن فيكون. Then she said, my Lord, how shall I have a son when no man has touched me? How possible? Here you are telling me I'm going to have a son. But how is it going to happen when I have never been touched by a man? There is no marriage. But look at the response of Allah the Almighty. Such is the way of Allah. And Allah creates whatever He wishes to create. He will just ask, let it be, and it will be. Kun fayakun. So don't worry. You see the importance of obedience that they told Mary, that you have to be obedient. Ya Maryam qunuti li rabbiki wasjudi warqa'i marrakin. You have to be obedient, prostrate, and worship Allah alone. Now, here is the time to prove her obedience to the command of Allah. Because here is Allah is telling her to do something that you know that she never expect and she never knew in her life, that somebody can conceive and bear a child without the interference of a man, like a woman, I mean. So when that happened, then Allah the Almighty continued admonishing her. But this child I'm going to grant you, this child is going to be given knowledge, wisdom of the Torah and the book of the Injil. So this child is not going to be an ordinary individual. She is going to be honored in this world, in hereafter. Because in the later part you will see, the Jews, when he claimed to be a prophet of Allah, he was termed and labeled a false claimant. They started telling him that you are not in fact pure to be a prophet for Allah. But now, Allah the Almighty has already promised Mary, don't worry, whatever plan they do, they are going to fail, because this child is going to be wajihan fi dunya wa fil akhirah wa minal muqarrabin. He's going to be honored in this world and the hereafter. Even if they want to dishonor him, even if they want to discredit him, or even if they want to humiliate him, they can never humiliate him, because he's already promised to be honored in this world and the hereafter, and he's going to be somebody near to the Almighty Allah. So here, this demonstrates Mary alayhi salam, that Hazat Maryam alayhi salam, was somebody who was pure, was somebody who was beloved by Allah, was somebody who was chosen by Allah as the best woman of her time. And she got a child who was also very pure and who was also honored by Allah the Almighty, both in this world and in the hereafter. And he happened to be a prophet of Allah after Hazrat Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. That was Hazrat Isa alayhi salatu wasalam, the Messiah, son of Mary. So this is all what we have on this, and I believe we have learned a lot about the life of Hazrat Maryam alayhi salam. So whatever people say about Mary, the Holy Quran has already clarified it. The Holy Quran has already given a clear picture who Hazrat Maryam alayhi salam was. So this is where we will stop, and by the grace of Allah the Almighty, in our next episode, we are going to continue on the son, the promised son that Hazrat Mary alayhi salam was promised, that is Isa alayhi salam. We see a picture where we will have an interaction and have a question regarding him, because there are a lot of things that we need to clarify regarding the life of Hazrat Isa alayhi salam. So thank you very much for joining us today, and I believe what you have learned today here, you are going to convey it to your friends, and I believe that is going to happen. Thank you very much. Viewers, this is what time allowed us. We have come to the end of another episode. Here we were discussing about the life history of Hazrat Maryam alayhi salam, who happened to be the mother of Hazrat Isa alayhi salam, the prophet of Allah, Masihu Isa bin Maryam, Rasulallah. So thank you very much. This is what time allowed us. I am your host, Saeed Sambaso, here in MTA International Gambia Studio. Until we come on your way next time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.